council meeting Tuesday the 25th of February 2025. Okay, thank you. Attendance and apologies, approved leave of absence. We have an approved leave of absence from Councillor Skinder and we have Councillor Cottrell on the teams. Declaration of interest. I have a declaration of interest from Councillor.
Missing page, councillors, I'll get that to you.
Declaration of interest from Councillor Skinder, which Maslam, sorry Maslam, I put it in the wrong spot, sorry. Right, Councillor Maslam, on agenda item 7.1.6, Province Resources, and 7.3.1, North Water Plan, stage 4 and 5. The nature of councillor interest is work for Province and Development WA sales rep. The extent of interest is financial. Thank you. And I'll remind all councillors, if you realise you have an interest as we go through, please let us know. Public question time. Do we have questions from the public? Sorry, I should have been questions from taken on previous notice from the previous meeting. Sorry. Ms Nelson, can you, I'll just do the questions from the previous on notice first.
Thank you, Mr President and councillors.
Sorry, Ms Nelson, I've got to do the questions taken on notice from previous meeting. So we had questions on notice from Mr Aylmore at the previous meeting. The question was, it is sad the Shire of Carnarvon doesn't recognise tourism by closing the facilities at Point Quagga, Miles, i.e. the ablution facility, Sullage Point, and rubbish removal. Why doesn't the Shire of Carnarvon promote tourism? Well, we sort of... Okay, so I'll defer to the CEO.
Yeah, so at this point in time, we absolutely do promote tourism and there's a great deal of evidence of where we do, so I'm not sure that that's actually a key point there, but we will provide some more formal response to Mr Aylmore, but tourism is a very key part of the Shire's economic development plan. The fact that we have closed the facilities, we are progressing with Council's direction and there are further meetings with government next week, and then from there we hope to have a position that can be discussed once we come out of caretaker and there is a council and there is a government in place. So unfortunately at the minute we haven't been able to progress given that we're in caretaker, but we are meeting with the department next week to further discuss the blowholes and the way forward for the Shire and the community. We'll provide that in writing for the next 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam CEO. Ms Nelson, your questions.
Thank you, Mr President. That question's already been answered. Thank you very much. I realise that this was already in. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes, so we also... Would you like to... Ms Nelson, would you like to read out the questions you've submitted?
I think I was doing that under item 6.
Yep. Oh, you're doing a presentation?
No, she didn't want to do a presentation. Julie, you just decided to submit your questions, is that right? We're asking you now to read them.
Well, it wasn't actually a question, that's why I asked for it to be under question 6, just a few explanations and to do with the local government functions and general regulations 1996.
Okay, we'll move it to presentations, petitions and memorials. Item 6. All right, thank you. Right, moving right along, confirmation of minutes. If everybody's happy, could I get a mover to confirm the minutes of the meeting on the 28th of January, the ordinary council meeting on the 28th of January And item 4.2, the special council meeting of 14th of February 2025. Move them en bloc. So Councillor Kelly, and Councillor Vanderleer. Is there any debate, questions, discussion? There being none, that's adopted 6-0. Sorry, 7-0. Thank you. Announcements by the President without discussion. Yes, I will. I have an announcement. The last 4 or 5 weeks haven't been really good for the old town because it's with some great sadness that in the past month we've lost the Barry Scott, Earl Henderson and Hazel House. And I'm sure all councillors will join me in extending their condolences to their families. Mr. Barry Scott, an absolute gentleman, has left a lasting legacy on this town. Absolutely massive amount of work he has done behind the scene for this town. Truly an absolute gentleman. Very sad to see him gone. Bill Henderson, he was one of the old style coppers. He was an absolute gem in the town, the work he did, well respected. Sad to see him go. And Hazel, me snook, she's wife of Dick House, who was Barry Scott's backup man, and I think she's, like a lot of women in this town, totally supportive of some really great people and going forward, in our town going forward. So I think we've lost 3 really great people. It's quite sad. Moving right along. Departmental reports, item 7.1. Status of council decisions.
6.1, we have presentation.
Oh, sorry, Peter, sorry. 6.1, Ms. Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. President, councillors. Today will be an item to you to consider. Council will receive my email dated the 14th of February 2025 regarding Carnarvon Watches House in the Shire of Carnarvon. The council also will have received 5 attachments emailed to the Shire of Carnarvon CEO and councillors, deed of trust, record of certificate, expired lease arrangement with the Shire of Carnarvon and Watches House, and a new commercial lease between the Shire of Carnarvon. My question to council is, number 1, involvement of lawyers. Why wasn't the council made aware that lawyers are involved in the current situation between Carnarvon Watches House and the Shire of Carnarvon? Shouldn't there have been transparency regarding legal complexities? Item 2, support for Carnarvon Watches House as a not-for-profit organisation. Given that Carnarvon Watches House is a not-for-profit organisation that contributes significantly to the Carnarvon community, why does the Shire not consider transferring the land to Carnarvon Watches House, thereby further supporting the continued service in the community? Under the Local Government Functions and General Regulations 1996, Regulation 3, disposition of property excluded from the Act, S 3.5. The objects of which are of a charitable, benevolent, religious, cultural, education, recreational, sporting and other like nature. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So through the chair, in terms of question 1, why wasn't council made aware of the lawyers were involved? We sought, there's no legal action as such, we sought advice from our legal firm, McLeod's, as there was some ongoing discrepancy around whether or not there was the capacity for the Department of Justice for their legal aid services to be able to proceed with their commercial lease with Lotteries House and CLH, and so we did seek that advice. That's an operational matter, and we did at the time, the President was very aware that these negotiations were ongoing and that these discussions were happening. We spent $834, which is what it takes, unfortunately, on the 31st of the 1st, 2025, seeking clarification regarding the commercial lease status that CLH had thought was not correct. And so we sought clarification around that. And back when we actually did the lease, we spent another $1,500 on that. So all up in terms of this, it's $2,329.70 has been spent legally, but all for the operational outcomes of progressing. So at this point in time, we don't see that there's any legal complexities. We've talked extensively with the Department of Justice and the State Legal Service, and as far as they're concerned, everything's been able to proceed. So at this point in time, we're not sure and have been trying to get to the bottom and have asked to have a meeting in person to better understand why there's a discrepancy or why CLH feels that the lease isn't fit for purpose. The current lease does not prohibit subleasing, and the current lease clearly defines what can and can't happen for CLH to operate, and should it cease to operate, then what occurs, which is in line with the trust of Lotteries House. And then support for CLH as a not-for-profit organisation. We fully support CLH as a not-for-profit organisation, and in terms of transferring the land, under the current lease, it's in there that the land is transferred back to the Shire should the building transferred back to the Shire should CLH cease operating, and it's our understanding under the trust with Lotteries that that is what is in agreement with all parties involved. So should we progress to that matter, which we'll bring back to council, we'll need to talk to Lotteries about the way forward in that regard. We have a number of other situations where that's very similar, and I actually have meetings with Lotteries next week, so I can progress that conversation then, if that's what they'd like to consider going forward. But it would be with Lotteries, not so much CLH.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Councillors, right. Item 7.1 is the council decisions. Kelvin Hoover, please. Councillor Burke-Maslin. Seconder, please. Councillor Farina. Councillors, is there any debate on this item? There being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Item 7.1.2, actions performed under delegated authority from the months of January and February. Item mover, please. Councillor Farina and Councillor Kelly. Councillors, is there any debate? Questions? There being no debate, that's adopted unanimously, 7-0. Mrs. Hill. Item 7.1.3, the Freedom of Information Statement for 2025. Councillors, another mover, please. Councillor Farina. Seconded by Councillor Kelly. Once again, councillors, is there any debate, discussion? There being no debate, discussion, that's adopted unanimously, 7-0. Thank you, Mrs. Hill. Item 7.1.4. Request for deed of extension of lease for the Carnarvon Motorcycle Club.
Through the chair, Amanda Layton had declared an impartiality interest. Can you please include that? But unfortunately, it hasn't come out as a typo.
Okay. So, councillors, staff member Amanda Layton has declared an impartiality interest. With that, councillors, could I have a mover, please? Councillor Kelly. Seconder, please. Councillor Farina. Is there any debate? It's adopted unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.1.5, request for lease disposal of portion of lot 421 Robinson Street, Carnarvon. Councillors, do I have a mover, please? Councillor Kelly. And seconder, Councillor Maslin. Councillor Burke-Maslin. Councillors, is there any debate? Being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Thank you. Councillor Burke-Maslin has an interest in this item, will be leaving the room as it is financial. Councillors, item 7.1.6, extension to Memorandum of Understanding for Province Resources on the North Common. Do I have a mover, please? Councillor Vanderleer. Seconded by Councillor Kelly. Councillors, is there any debate? Questions? There'll be no debate. I have one question, Madam Chair. This doesn't affect... Sorry, Madam CEO. Ed's not in the right place today. Madam CEO, this does not mean they don't have exclusive rights under this lease. This memorandum of understanding. We definitely can. If someone else walks in, say, Hastings, now that Tataranga are involved, walk in and say, we want to build a port north of the town, they could. You all have to make the effort.
So through the chair, absolutely. At no point is this exclusive, and I would think the province would actually be supportive of the port in lots of ways. But in the same vein, at this point in time, it's absolutely not exclusive. It's an in-principle intent to demonstrate that we are supportive of this type of development and increased economic activity in our community.
Fantastic. Thank you. So with that, councillors, is there any debate? There being no debate, that's adopted unanimously, 6-0. Mrs. Phil. Got that right. Could someone ask Councillor Maslin back in, please? Councillor Maslin, the officer's recommendation was put and adopted unanimously 6-0. Item 7.2.1, monthly financial report, January 2025. Councillors, have a mover, please. Councillor Vanderleer. Councillor Farina, thank you for seconded it. Exciting subject, councillors. I'm sure there will be this debate on this. Is there any? Someone like to open the debate? Councillors, being no debate, that's adopted unanimously 7-0. Item 7.2.2, proposed budget review. Councillors, do I have a mover, please? Councillor Vanderleer. Mover is Councillor Kelly. Seconder, sorry. Councillors, once again, noting the deficit, is there any debate? I'd just like to thank our Financial Manager Sarah for the work she put into this review. It was wonderful, thank you. It's the best review I've seen. Thank you. Councillors, all those in favour? Councillor Dudley Maslin.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Just making, I'll take that off.
Thank you.
Thank you, sorry.
That's right. That's adopted unanimously, Mrs Hill, 7-0. Item 7.2.3, accounts paid under delegation January 2025. Councillor Kelly, you're moving that. Councillor Dudley Mason, did you put your hand up?
Yes,
to
I did
second that?
indeed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Did you submit another form?
No, you couldn't do another one.
No, you didn't.
No?
I didn't do it. You go.
Councillors, is there any debate? There being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Councillor Maslin has a financial interest in the next items. They'll be leaving the room. Councillors, item 7.3.1, North Water Structure Plan, stages 4 and 5. Remover, please.
Yep.
Councillor Dudley Maslin. Seconder, please. Councillor Kelly. Councillor Maslin.
That's all right. Thank you, Mr. President. Just by way of, I don't think this will move in a hurry, and I believe that it needs to be supported in the interim. But bear in mind that this proposed development's been on the books for something like 16 years or more, and it's this particular item seriously, for want of a better description, dumbs down the original plans done by exactly the same people, Taylor Burrow and Burnett. They did the initial one on behalf of Landcorp back in 2005 or 6 or whatever it was. I support this motion, but just mainly to keep it going because it's a very important part of Carnarvon's future. So I just would like to make those comments in support, but also as an indication that later on, when it's revisited by another council at another time, it's noted that this council actually noted that there was probably better options than the one that's been put to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dudley Maslin. I will take that as speaking for the motion. Councillors, are there any speakers against the motion? Are there any further speakers for the motion? There being no further speakers, would you like to close the debate, Councillor?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, all those in favour? Unanimously, Mrs Hill, 6-0. Can someone ask Councillor Burke-Maslin back in, please? Councillor Maslin, the motion was put as presented and adopted unanimously, 6-0. Councillors, item 7.3.2, local planning policies. I have a mover, please. Councillor Burke-Maslin moved. And Councillor Kelly, you moved it, you seconded it. Councillors, is there any debate? There being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Mrs Hill, 7-0. Item 7.4.2, request for consideration of Warra East and North roads as roads of regional. getting it right. Because, okay, there's two parts to this motion. One is by simple majority, one is by absolute majority. So we'll have to do them separately. Could I have someone move officer's recommendation part 1, please? Councillor B. Maslin. Seconder, please. Councillor Vandeleur. Is there any debate, councillors? There being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Thank you. Officer's recommendation part 2 by absolute majority, councillors, is Councillor Vandeleur. Seconded by Councillor B. Maslin. Is there any debate, councillors? There being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Thank you. Request, item 7.2, so request for consideration of Warra East and North roads as roads of regional significance. Well, a mover, please. Councillor Maslin and Councillor Farina. Councillors, is there any debate? There being no debate, that's adopted unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.4.3, request for plant and operator flood damage repairs. Yep. Acceptance of quote. The mover, please. Councillor B. Maslin. Seconder, Councillor Farina. Councillors, is there any debate? That's adopted unanimously, 7-0. Thank you, Mrs. Hill. Right, back to the agenda. The order applications for leave of absence. I would like to put in an application for leave of absence for a meeting at the end of April. Being on the, I can't remember the date, my apologies. Yes. You want to second that? Thank you. Councillor Maslin has seconded that. Is there any debate? All those in favour? It's adopted unanimously, Mrs. Hill. Motions of which previous notice has been given, there are nil. Questions from members without notice? So under the urgent business approved by the presiding member, we have a motion which, I'm not sure if you've all got that, but Mandy just the CEO is just handing it out.
Through the chair, please disregard the other piece of paper that I gave you earlier, councillors, it wasn't complete.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, so Councillor, do you want me to do that right now, or do you want to say something?
Yes.
Okay. Councillor Cottrell, you've been emailed a copy of the motion and the reasons for it. If you want to...
Yes, I have a copy. I've got the email in front of me. Just, yeah, if we could have 2-3 minutes just to read through it, if that's possible.
Yes, councillors, so could I have someone move that we suspend standing orders? Councillor B. Maslin, Councillor B. Maslin. All those in favour? It's unanimous, Mrs. Hill. 7-0. Councillors, while Councillor Cottrell reads that, is there any... Everybody read through... Yeah, take a couple of minutes, read through the whole document. The one Madam CEO has just given us. This one, you haven't got this one?
Let me look.
We use a single page.
No, the double pages. There's one or two, you need to see them, read those. The single page, chuck it in.
Do you want the whole lot of this read out?
I think that
No, I didn't just think.
the back bit is what is on.
Yep.
So from vote of no confidence,
Yep.
so
That's
councillors.
all.
I have a question. Again, getting back to our role as council and councillors, should we not include in there that our community does not feel safe due to the handling of children at risk? Otherwise, it seems at the moment we're sort of making a statement. I think it's important that we have correlation back to what we do as council. Is that debate or a question? What do you both?
I support leaving it as broad as we can for a start.
Yeah,
Gives
I'm
the
I'm
opportunity.
of the same opinion, councillor, because I think the more you say, the more it'll open up the door for them to argue against it.
And the reasoning
It's-
is in there, you know, to what spells it out. Yeah, well done.
Very good.
Yeah, the reform of the youth justice system is critical, and it's not saying that it's not up to you. It's up to them. Yeah.
If I just think you actually make the motion.
Councillor Cottrell, do you have something you'd like to add?
Yeah, I've just reading through it quickly, it's all good, but I did just notice just a typo error. The council demands at the end, items 3 and 5 are the same, they're written twice.
Ah, yes, sorry, thank you very much. I tried to escalate the housing up further. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was deliberate, but yes.
In there twice, yes.
Okay, 3 and
so-
5. So we'll remove 5. Right, no, we won't. We'll remove number 6 and section
Yes,
5 will come
eliminate.
out. Yeah. Okay. So,
So, through the chair, I'm proposing that the recommendation is that Simon? Yeah, I sorted that. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
So then the recommendation is that until a decisive action is taken, the Shire of Carnarvon stands firm in its vote of no confidence in the state and federal government's handling of this crisis. And then I think that the remaining bit underneath it then goes, so it gives a bit of the justification, and then, so that would be 1, and then that would be 2,
Okay.
with A, B, C, D.
Yep, yep, yep.
So,
So,
let me just quickly pull this together. Can you bring up something on the screen? Yeah. Okay, that's all right, we can read it out. So,
so you, this, the motion is
hang
going
on,
to be...
the Shire. I'll be doing this.
this particular?
That's all the recommendation,
Yeah.
but that's the absolute statement.
Yeah.
And then 1 is the reason for, and 2 is then the council
Okay.
demands immediate action.
So the statement comes first. Okay, all right.
Read that bit first.
All right, council. That council stands firm in its vote of no confidence in the state and federal government's handling of the current youth crisis in Australia. One, given the widespread failures in youth justice, child protection, service delivery and crime prevention, the Council of Shire of Carnarvon expresses a vote of no confidence in the state and the federal governments for failing to protect children at risk, particularly Aboriginal youth in regional WA, ignoring expert recommendations and inquiry findings leading to worsening conditions to vulnerable children, defunding and dismantling essential youth services, leaving children and families without crucial support, failing to address the youth crime crisis in regional WA, instead relying on punitive approaches that do not work. The Council demands immediate action. 1. Urgent investment in community-led early intervention programs to prevent children from entering the child protection and youth justice systems. 2. Restoration and expansion of regional services to provide wraparound support for at-risk children and families. 3. Significant increases in funding for social housing, crisis accommodation and mental health services in regional WA. Reform of the youth justice system. And accountability and transparency on the implementation of past inquiries and Royal Commission recommendations.
Yep.
That's it. So everybody's happy with that?
Yep.
No further input, so can someone move we go back into standing orders? Thank you, Councillor Burt Maslin, Councillor Kelly, all those in favour? Councillors, would someone like to move that motion? Councillor Dudley Maslin, a seconder please. Councillor Paul Kelly. Councillors, is there any debate on that item? There being no debate, councillors, that's adopted unanimously 7-0. Thank you for your patience and time with that, councillors.
Just one word of explanation, was that motion put to the council or was it just read out in standing orders?
No, that was what was put to
Just
council.
put it,
Yes.
It's okay, got it,
Yep.
just
Yep.
make sure we get it.
Yeah, I should have said that. Oh, I did say.
Yeah, sorry.
I did. Matters for which the meeting will be closed to the public, there are nil. And date of the next meeting is 25th of March. Thank you, Mrs Hill. Councillors and public, public are on. Meeting's closed.